What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, legendary trainer, Hall of Fame trainer, trainer of 8 division world champion, legendary, iconic Filipino superstar boxer, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. His longtime trainer and Hall of Fame trainer, well-renowned trainer, Freddie Roach. He states that he is fully confident that Manny Pacquiao's 2-year layoff benefit Manny Pacquiao going into this massive mega showdown, which is scheduled to be a unification bout, as the WBA is expected to reinstate Manny Pacquiao as the super champion against undefeated unified WBC, IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer Errol the Truth Spence Jr., who is widely considered to be top 3 pound-for-pound fighters in the world. With that said, Freddie Roach, he says that the 2-year layoff, the last time we saw Manny Pacquiao in the ring was July of 2019 when he took on and defeated then undefeated unified WBC, WBA welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman. Now, the WBC title wasn't on the line due to inactivity on the part of Keith Thurman, which saw him stripped of the WBC title and saw Danny Garcia and Sean Porter fight for the vacant WBC title that Sean Porter won. And then Sean Porter went in a unification bout with Errol Spence Jr., in which Errol Spence beat Sean Porter, thus rendering Errol Spence the WBC IBF welterweight world champion. So with that said, that was the last time we saw Manny Pacquiao in the ring. Now, he dropped Keith Thurman in the first round. He badly hurt Keith Thurman in the 10th round. Looked like he was on the verge of stopping Keith Thurman in the 10th round. With that said, he's 42 years of age, stands at 5'5" with a 68-inch arm reach. 67-inch arm reach. Errol Spence is 31 years of age, so Manny Pacquiao is 11 years older than Errol Spence. Manny Pacquiao is 5 inches shorter than Errol Spence, and he has a 5-inch arm reach disadvantage with Errol Spence. Errol Spence is 5'9.5", nearly 5'10", with a 72-inch arm reach. Manny Pacquiao is 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. Okay. With that said, Freddie Roach, he says that after this Errol Spence fight, this is going to be a statement made. And then he's welcoming all top welterweights to challenge Manny Pacquiao for his last farewell fight. He says, obviously, we love this showdown and a rematch with legendary retired Hall of Famer, former 5-division world champion, former pound-for-pound king, former pay-per-view king in Floyd Money Mayweather, retired undefeated 50-0, who defeated Manny Pacquiao back in 2014. So with that said, Freddie Roach is stating that they would love a rematch, but if they can't, obviously, after this Errol Spence fight, they're looking to make a statement, and then they're calling all the best welterweights to step up to the plate and challenge Manny Pacquiao for his farewell fight. And if that's not the case, if nobody steps up, then they would just retire possibly after this Errol Spence fight. So Freddie Roach is saying that initially he didn't like these fights with Manny Pacquiao and these young fighters, but he says Manny Pacquiao is more committed to the sport of boxing right now. So he says not only is Manny Pacquiao for sure going to be the faster guy, faster hands and faster feet, but he says Manny Pacquiao is going to be the stronger guy. Now, most people don't expect that, as Errol Spence is seen as a big, strong welterweight who's a southpaw just like Manny Pacquiao. But Freddie Roach is expecting Manny Pacquiao to be the stronger guy. And like I said, the majority of the boxing world expects Errol Spence to be the bigger, stronger guy. So he's saying that they see a lot of flaws in Errol Spence Jr., the lack of speed being the number one flaw. But the second one is he's very strong, but he's not Manny Pacquiao strong. So Freddie Roach says that don't be surprised to expect to see Manny Pacquiao possibly get a stoppage victory over Errol Spence Jr. He's the second person that said this. Now, we know a well-renowned Mexican superstar trainer, former world champion, Robert Garcia, who trained his brother, Mikey Garcia, 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, in the fight with Errol Spence Jr., in which they stated, well, at least Mikey Garcia stated, that he himself saw something in Errol Spence that he felt like he can take advantage of. And that wasn't true. That bold not to be true, because Errol Spence won every second of every minute of every round in the fight against Mikey Garcia. And he did so not even using his size and strength. He just simply used his skills and outboxed Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is similar in stature to that of Manny Pacquiao. Mikey Garcia is 5'6" with a 68-inch arm reach. Manny Pacquiao is 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. So they're very compatible in size. Me, myself, when I asked Manny Pacquiao how would he face off against Errol Spence, and Manny Pacquiao, he stated speed. Speed is going to be the ultimate key for him to beat a bigger, stronger guy. Now, Manny Pacquiao, he says, you don't try to compete with the bigger, stronger guy. He's the bigger, stronger guy. He says, but my speed is going to offset that. So Manny Pacquiao doesn't believe he's going to be the stronger guy. He believes that Errol Spence is going to be the stronger guy, but he's going to have the speed and the experience advantage over, Errol Spence Jr. So Freddie Roach, ironically enough, Freddie Roach wasn't, too pleased to see Manny Pacquiao face off against a 3-division undefeated world champion who currently is the WBO welterweight world champion in Terrence Bud Crawford, because he said he has a lot of similarities to Floyd Mayweather, and he can switch from orthodox to southpaw very fluently. He transitions from offense to defense very fluidly. So Freddie Roach didn't like that style matchup, okay? So here's what Freddie Roach had to say regarding Errol Spence. He says, quote, if Manny Pacquiao is going to continue in boxing, I want him to fight the best guys he possibly can. This fight with Errol Spence is going to be a statement made, okay? He said, we're not looking for any stiffs or any easy fights or anything like that. We will fight anybody out there. And if Floyd Mayweather is not available, as I told you guys, doesn't come to the table after Errol Spence, we would like all of them to line up. But if they don't line up, this could possibly be his last fight. Okay? And then Freddie Roach says about Manny Pacquiao's age, quote, it's been 2 years since Manny Pacquiao has fought, but I'm not worried about the ring rust. Manny Pacquiao uttered the same sentiments as well. He says the long layoff is good for Manny Pacquiao, having competed in the sport of boxing for so long. Manny Pacquiao himself said the same thing. Manny Pacquiao had this to say. He said, quote, after 25 years of being in the sport of boxing, taking layoffs and having rest, it's good rest. It's good for my body, and it gives it a chance to recover. So both Freddie Roach and Manny Pacquiao, they believe the long layoff, it benefits Manny Pacquiao and lets his body heal and rest, right? Freddie Roach says, it's a good fight for Errol Spence. Errol Spence is a great fighter. He's a heck of a fighter. But Manny Pacquiao is on a different level. This is what Freddie Roach had to say. Now, Manny Pacquiao manager has also uttered the same sentiments in an interview he did. He said it's a good fight, right? He says, unfortunately for Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao's on a different level. So they're all on the same page, okay? And here's what Freddie Roach had to say. I don't think Errol Spence is as strong as Manny Pacquiao. He's strong, but he's not as strong as Manny Pacquiao. And I'm sure Manny Pacquiao is much faster than Errol Spence. So, end quote. So they're all on the same page, because this is the same thing Freddie Roach is saying, Manny Pacquiao is saying, Manny Pacquiao's manager was saying the same thing. So this leads me to believe that they truly, truly believe and see something in Errol Spence Jr. that they feel like they can exploit. And they like their chances against Errol Spence, okay? Now, obviously, Errol Spence is full of confidence in himself. But remember, Errol Spence suffered a horrific car accident just 12 days after unifying the belts against two-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Shawn Porter. September 28th. October 10th, he suffered a horrific car accident. But 14-month layoff, came back and fought 2-division world champion superstar boxer Danny Garcia, and he outclassed Danny Garcia. But immediately following that fight, all eyes was on Errol Spence to see how he's going to bounce back from that fight, from that car accident. And he bounced back. Manny Pacquiao, he tweeted out, great congratulations, great comeback, great fight, great victory. Manny Pacquiao's team, they tweeted out on their social media that Errol Spence looked great, but he looked slow. He didn't look like the same guy. So it seems like they're banking on the fact that Errol Spence may not truly 100% be the same guy he was prior to the car accident. Errol Spence didn't look much different. He actually looked the same. Obviously, there's going to be ring rust. from a 14-month layoff, but he didn't show much ring rust in that fight. Okay, he dominated Danny Garcia on every level possible in the fight. He looked like the stronger guy. He looked like the quicker guy. He looked like the better skill guy. He looked like the better pure boxer. He showed different facets of his game. He showed that he could fight in the inside, on the outside. You know, he was mixing it up. He was coming in and he was getting out against Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia had one good round, and that was the 12th round of the fight. So I don't know what they saw, but obviously being in the ring as professional trainer and professional boxer, they may see little nuances that we don't see. And it's clear that they are super confident that they can beat Errol Spence Jr. and that they will beat Errol Spence Jr. ultimately. They will be successful in this fight. As Freddie Roach said, that we are 1,000% confident we are going to win this fight against Errol Spence Jr. And we want all the best welterweights moving forward if Manny Pacquiao decides to stay in the sport of boxing. Wow. So we got to see how this unfolds. August 21st, Las Vegas, Nevada. This is going to be epic. And again, the WBA, who relieved Manny Pacquiao of the WBA title due to inactivity, due to indecisiveness. He was indecisive of who he's going to fight next. They wanted him to defend the titles against somebody in the top 10 ranking system. He was indecisive. They removed him as the super champion, put him in champion recess, elevated Cuban star boxer Yordenis Ugas the super. But it's highly expected for them to reinstate Manny Pacquiao and this to be a 3-belt unification showdown. So let's see how everything unfolds and plays out. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
This is Amanda, the Real Deal Serrano, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.